Johnny Fisher in the Land Rover Defender. Are you a car man?
Not really. Nice car, this one though. Shout out Reynolds Motor Group. Best in the game. You need any car in the Essex area, give Reynolds Motor Group a shout, based in Southend. Or Basildon now, I think.
So you're not one of them who, when you are earning the $1 million contract, you're not going to go and splash out on?
I probably will. Still nice to have a nice car, but I'm not like obsessing over a car, you know?
Yeah.
I've just got, I do want to eventually have a G-Wagon. That would be a lovely car to have. They're lovely, but I'm very grateful and happy to have this car. Great car. I had a smart car when I was at uni, a little one. And a Suzuki Alto, that was great. Great little nipper. 1 litre.
I feel like that's a comedy sketch, a heavyweight boxer in a smart car.
Me and my dad got in the smart car once and he had a nosebleed. And we couldn't get up a hill in Exeter. So we had to get out and walk it. Probably done him good. But yeah.
I will say you're a bit of a messy one.
Sorry. Oh, what, with the bottles?
The bottles down there, yeah.
I just haven't had time to... My whole house is a tip right now. I hate living in mess, but I've just had no choice. Well, I've been backwards and forwards in a fight when I was in Texas sparring, when I was over in Australia. I haven't had like 3 or 4 weeks back to back in my house to get everything sorted. My neighbour's doing my wardrobes now, so at least that's getting done. Once that's done, I can start putting my clothes away. They've got to be painted though. I've got to put the handles on them, then I've got to paint the rest of the room, then I've got to change the carpets. I don't like that. Please let me through, please let me through. Thanks, mate. I couldn't help it.
A lot to do, but you're just too busy knocking people out.
Oh, no, I don't know about that. I only knocked Alan out. Alan the Babbage. Savage man.
How do you look back on what was a good week?
It was good, but we just go on to the next thing now. Very grateful I can fight again. Eddie said, just get you out again. Fight on a great card, Jack Cattle undercard. Looking forward to going up to Manchester. I've only boxed in Manchester once and that was in lockdown, so see the Manc boss soldiers up there. I'll be having it off. Great place, Manchester. I do like it.
It is. It's a good place to go, and it's in a new arena as well, which I went to have a little look at.
Is there a co-op in there? I've got my co-op card.
Is there a co-op in the arena?
I used to shop at co-op all the time in Exeter, and I used to. You build it up, and then at the end of the term, I got a £30 free shop because of all the pounds I was saving every time I went in there. And there's a Tesco as well.
Are you vying for a little sponsor? Is that what you're trying to do?
Not at all. Co-op. I'm a Waitrose man now. I love Waitrose and M&S. But I used to go in the Tesco as well because they'd done this mince, like just British mince, £1.36 for a kilo of mince. Perfect for a Sunday evening meal. A bit of tomato sauce with a little bit of bolognese sauce and pasta.
It must have been difficult for you at uni because I remember so I stayed at home for uni, but when I would go to my pals, sometimes he would literally have sleep for dinner. Like we're talking, he would eat plain pasta,
yeah,
or just something that
is
either not very nutritious or just like a couple of bars of chocolate.
It was chicken wings and mince. That's what I used to eat with a bit of tandoori paste for the chicken wings. Yeah, it's basic, and sometimes if you can splash out, you could get a rump steak. But it's limited choice, and I actually ended up, I was very lean at uni. I was still big, like 100 kilo, but I was lean. And now I look back, it's because I wasn't eating enough, really. Sometimes I'd cheat and just have a load of cookies in the hall in the Exeter, in the library, eat a load of cakes just to get a few more calories in. But you end up, food is like, it's not a priority when you're a student, is it? I was lucky enough, my dad would sometimes give me a 15 quid or 20 quid to see me off when I used to come down. That was a nice little bonus. I had a sponsor actually, MKA Recruit, who sponsored me as an amateur. They used to give me, what they give me was fortunes for me. So that was a massive help because that went towards my student rent as well, because you obviously only get covered so much on your loan and stuff. It's a fortune when you think about it, going to university.
It isn't expensive.
And it's like, it's a great experience and everything about it, but it is a bit, sometimes if you don't use your time wisely, you're wasting your money, I think. If you use your time correctly, you make connections, you make a network of people, you go out and do things, great, it's worth every penny, but if you just waste it away getting smashed every night, it's not ideal, I don't think.
Yeah, a lot of people do that, go to uni for the experience.
Yeah, I think it is. I think going to university has been brilliant for me. I know I don't use my history degree now, But the network and the connections I've made was brilliant, and I did enjoy doing history as well. But the network I've created off the back of it, and now people that come and watch me fight, you know. So it's worked out well, accidentally.
Do you reckon you could fight next time?
Exeter Chiefs Ground, imagine that. At the Tomahawk Bar, having it large.
I was going to say if they got an arena, but I know the Premier League of Darts go there, so they must have some sort of arena. But yeah, outdoors at Romford Ground would be decent as well.
I'm trying to think what arena there is. They've got the Exeter.
The Premier League Darts definitely goes there, so they must have some sort of
I'm trying to think where they do it. Oh, you've got the Great Hall at Exeter University as well.
Fighting at Exeter Uni, that would be mega.
It's like a Hogwarts place. That'd be amazing. Bringing in the Romford Bull army to one of the poshest unis in the country. Imagine Triple B on the megaphone and Stuart, the flag man, with his flag out. It's just raucous, isn't it?
The place be getting turned over.
Oh, mate.
So, you mentioned, obviously, Australia. Next fight is in Manchester. I asked you this. Did I ask you? Oh, yeah, it must have been before the fight, about places and things you want to tick off.
Yeah.
But you haven't really had much time to think between the last fight and obviously the next one.
Yeah.
So straight into Manchester. Is there a danger that you've only done one full round in about a year?
Not even a round.
Not even a round, yeah.
That's why.
Is there a little bit of danger? Or?
There is. There's jeopardy in everything you do in this boxing game. And blasting people out there is all well and good, but rounds are important as well, especially now. People know what I can do. But I'm not going to knock it, going and knocking people out, because it's great, it's what people want to watch. But I was speaking to Eddie Hearn on the phone a week or two ago, and he said we need some rounds, and he's right, and we need the right opponent next to do that.
So the next opponent will be someone that you hope, or your
There's
team
a couple
hope
of names
can...
bandied about. We're close to someone now. I don't want to say it because I don't know what I've got. I don't want to put my foot in it. But there's a good international guy. He's fought some great names, and he's tough as old boots. So he'll be a tougher test than Babic, that's for sure. Considering we got him out there in 30 seconds, someone will give me something to take me to deeper waters, you know, which Babic promised he would do.
Yeah, and obviously you mentioned fighting, or potentially fighting Dave Allen down the line.
Definitely.
Comeback, got 2 wins now since his defeat to Fabio. Only done 8 rounds, so I know I spoke to him and he said, look, there's a bit of a... To Fraser, my bad.
Yeah.
And he said, he was like, look, there's a long way to go. And I said to him, I was surprised that he felt like he had to earn the fight, because there is no doubt that Dave Allen is a big name. But he said, he was like, the trajectory you've been on. But he said the trajectory that you've been on and where he's been of recent, it's not a fight that he feels like he can just jump straight into.
No,
which I guess is a fair assessment from him.
Yeah, of course. Like, Dave Allen is probably the most honest man in boxing, and he downplays himself a bit, because I remember watching him as an amateur and just as a boxing fan when he fought Lucas Brown, and he's fought Dillian White, Luis Ortiz. The resume that he's got is 5 times, 10 times better than what I've fought. But the difference is, as he said, I'm a bit fresher, younger, fitter, on an upwards trajectory, so that does play a factor as well. But trust me, make no bones about it, Dave Allen will be my toughest test. He can old man you, he's experienced. He's had Tony Yoka punching his head in, he's had Luis Ortiz, he's had David Price punching his head in, Dillian White. And he's not an old man, he's 31, 32, still a young man. He's just got a lot of miles on the clock, as we saw when he was sparring Usyk. And my hope would be that the freshness and the exuberance of me, and the power and the strength at this young age, and the fitness will see me through. And my boxing skill and my relaxed nature has improved now as well. I'm not just trying to bulldoze people, although I did in my last fight. The turnings, the corners I've turned during camp have been great as well, and unfortunately I didn't get to show that. But my relaxed state of mind will help me in that fight as well, and I'll need it, because Dave Allen will not be over in a round. I won't just blow him over, you know?
Yeah. One thing I wanted to bring up, do you remember the first interview that we done? Was it Rayful?
Yeah, Rayful's Park restaurant. I used to work there.
Yeah. I was actually watching it before your fight week.
That was like 2021.
Yeah,
or 2020, early 21, or it must have been just when I turned pro in August 2020. It must have been September 2020, I reckon.
Yeah. Well, I got a message from Sam Jones, and he said, look, can you go and talk to this guy that we're signing?
J-Bone.
And yeah, I don't think that many people thought when you first arrived on the scene it would have gone how it has. Your name
I didn't either.
Is now worth quite a considerable amount, considering the stage of your career that you're at.
Yeah.
selling big tickets, winning fights, knocking people out. What's different to the Johnny Fisher now, though, than the Johnny Fisher that I spoke to a couple of years ago, bar the fact you're a better fighter?
Don't think there is any difference other than...
Because people always use he's going from a boy to a man, but...
I have matured.
You were always quite mature anyway.
I have always had a mature head on my shoulders, but I think physically I'm different. I've hardened, you can see it in my face. My face is different now. Flatter nose, just a bit more rugged and experienced, you know? And that's got to be down. I know you said not just as a fighter, but the sparring and the experiences of going away and being on your own in Texas and Vegas and being up against the wall and sparring Fury, all that stuff I think builds you as a man as well. Not just the sparring itself, but the experience of being a lone ranger away from home, you know. And I think back-to-back training camps and stuff like that, it builds you all as a man. So yeah, it's great being an amateur, having great amateur credentials. That's obviously got to stand you in great stead, but I think what I've proved is you can get to a certain level in boxing through sheer hard work and being a good professional as well. You don't just have to be a great amateur to do it, and that's good. Fabio Wardley's shown that as well, from a slightly different route, because I didn't have the white collar background, but can we make these lights, can we make these lights? Go on, son. Yeah, so it's good. I'm excited by where I think now people probably rate me a little bit more than they did at the start. I'm not just a ticket seller who can punch a bit. I think they can understand that I've won a southern area. I've beat another guy who was hot on the scene at one point. So I think I get a little bit more respect from the boxing community now. There'll still be haters, of course, but haters gonna hate.
Do you care about the respect that you get from the outside?
No, not at all. That literally doesn't bother me at all. If you're a good person and you show respect and you have good manners, that's what matters, and I think good people will respect you for that, no matter how good or bad you are.
I feel like it's easy for a lot of people to say that, but I think a lot of people who do say that, deep down, are fussed by what people say.
The only people I care what they say about me are my mum and dad, my brothers and my sister, and my close family and friends. If they start saying things, I know that's who I care about, you know. If I'm being a bit of a arrogant person, or I'm doing something wrong, or I'm not training hard enough, or they say something about my performances, that's when I take note. Mark Tibbs as well, Sonny, Jimmy, that's who I care about. Honestly, Oscar, I couldn't care less about negative comments. It's part and parcel of being, I guess, in the public eye or in the boxing world. People pay their money to watch, people are tuning in. Think how bad the footballers must have it, for God's sake. Like, they must have it unbelievably, because the boxers are bad, but the amount of people that watch football, shocking. But the difference with boxing is, these people, a lot of these boxers, I'm lucky I can earn a decent living off of it. A lot of boxers aren't earning no money, or earning hardly anything. Oh, that's Big John. And they're getting vilified for it, and they're just trying their best, you know? So I know you can knock them. So I'm going to answer Big John. Hello?
What time you be in Chariots?
5 minutes, I'm just at Old Church.
Oh, we'll be in there as well.
All right, who's we?
Me and Mum.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Little cameo from the legend himself. You mentioned the experiences of going away and being on your own and being a bit of a lone ranger.
Yeah.
But you also said about how the people whose opinions you care about are your family, your close friends, etc.
Yeah.
Are you a bit of like a home buddy? Because obviously, yes, you've moved out, but you're only around the corner. Thankfully, Tibbs' gym is kind of bank centre in your world. Are you a bit of a home buddy? 100%. Like, if you had to go and train in America or even up north, would you?
100%.
Would you be homesick?
I love being at home. When I went and trained in Vegas for 5-6 weeks, all I thought about was home all the time. But that's part of building your character. I don't miss home until I'm away from it as well. Texas as well. That was quite lonely out there, because Houston's a great place, great food, but it's very barren, very desolate. It's just retail parks everywhere. You go into the city, it's just offices. There's no cafes and bars. It's very spread out. You have a lot of alone time to think, and you spar with Filip Hrgovic, and it's brutal every time you spar, so that builds you. And I do think there's a huge difference in myself from 1920s now to 24, 25, you know. I think I've hardened myself mentally as well, and I don't care. I don't care anymore. You've got to do what you've got to do to earn your money, to earn your bread, and let this lady go. Sorry. Catney girl, you alright? But yeah.
No, you're right. You've got to do what you've got to do.
Got to do it. You're a man. I'm not being old-fashioned or sexist here, but I see it a lot on Instagram. It comes up, you're a man, just get on with it. Do your job. People be dreaming to be in the position you're in. What have you got to moan about? I often think about that, and I think about, like, there was a man who messaged me just before this fight, an ex-soldier, and he's got leukemia, and he's now been told yesterday, I saw that it's 100% infected the leukemia is in his whole bone marrow, and it's like, you could be in that situation, and it's, just get on with it. You've got nothing to moan about. People will moan too easily in this world now. There's people in hospital beds, there's children who are not very well. What the hell have I got to moan about? I've got great experiences. I get to go and travel the world and spar with different people, some of my heroes. Get on with it and enjoy it. So when you do have something to moan about, then you'll realise, you know.
Yeah, mate, well said. There's always someone in a worse off position than you are. Picking the mood up a little bit.
Cool, sorry, I've just brought it right down there now.
Had to go deep for a little bit.
Yeah.
Maga, a little bit of time off.
Magaluf.
But you were staying on the outside.
Oh, I was staying on the
You didn't do dirty Magaluf.
No. I went to Camp Del Mar in a place called Zafiro Palace.
It looked gorgeous.
It was unbelievable. Bloody expensive, but worth it. Like, you don't mind when you're paying it, and it's good. It's good stuff. Lovely people, lovely hotel, and I treated my mum and dad, took them away because I do help a lot. My mum doing all the t-shirts, my dad doing all the tickets. So Hetty came as well, my little sister, my brother Henry, my other brother Wilbertross was with his girlfriend in Portugal. But that was great, really good trip, and we did go into Magaluf to watch the football. Do a bit of content there, and it was great. The weather was lovely. We were off to Fuerteventura on Sunday, me, Mark and Sonny. Do a bit of training over there just to break it up a bit, because back-to-back camps, you don't want to be in a monotonous state, you know. Go over there for a week, and then you've got 3 weeks sparring when you come back.
Yeah, the life of the Romford Bull. It did end in heartbreak though, England.
Oh yeah. Well, it's self-inflicted, I know. I like Gareth Southgate. I think he's a good man. And he's given us some great memories looking back, really. But you don't sit back in a final when it's 1-1. You just don't sit back. When you're in a fight and you're in a scrap, I'm not going to just let Alan Babbage climb into me, am I? You just got to go for it. And I think there's credit to him in the tactics that he had. I can see what he was doing, boring teams and bringing on that injection of pace in Palmer and Watkins and seeing that. But I don't know, I just think, who did we actually beat? We beat a poor Dutch team, and we lost to a good team in Spain, and they deserved to win. But I think other tournaments, who did we beat? We beat a subpar Germany once, and that's it. And the other teams are like Ukraine, Norway's or whatever. But you can only beat who's put in front of you. It's the same for boxers, you know. But I think the time is right now for a change. Give us some great memories.
Do you feel like England are just cursed?
If we won, we can't sing It's Coming Home anymore, can we? We have to change it. It's Came Home. But we are. It's England, isn't it?
It's coming home again.
Yeah.
Who would be your preferred choice as England manager? Forget what the bookies are saying realistically. Oh, Ian Holloway.
I'm joking.
Alan Kirbishley. We've thrown it back.
Yeah. No, I like. I thought Big Sam would have been good, but
I would have loved to have seen what Big Sam would have done, having had a chance to get us to the World Cup in 2018.
They're saying Mark Potter, aren't they?
Mark
Potter, not Mark Potter, God bless him, but Graham Potter.
Graham Potter, yeah.
I don't actually know.
Having watched his football, being a Chelsea fan, I'm going to hope that's swerved.
I'd love Jose Mourinho. That'd be great.
See, that would be a man who would shithouse England.
Yeah. Think of the memes as well. The memes of him going. When you see your 4 out of 10 mate pulling a 10 out of 10 bird after the advice you gave him, so keep it calm. But Mike Bassett would be a good shout.
Yeah, great shout.
4-4 fucking 2. But yeah, I don't really know who the bookies' favourites are. I'd like to. Sean Dyche is proper Brexit manager, wouldn't he?
Bring Ryan Shawcross into the defence.
Yeah. There's a few shouts. I think someone the FA would like to. Fucking hell, you want more of the road, mate? Someone a bit FA friendly, like a Gareth Southgate, you know. He's a bit of a company man, isn't he? But
yeah, someone from inside the FA who knows him inside out.
Yeah, some sort of thing like that. We'll see.
Other than football, is there any other sports that
Rugby.
you're interested in? Oh yeah, rugby, of course.
England.
Are you an F1 man, or have I made that up?
Not really. No, I don't really watch F1. I like a bit of tennis as well. I like it.
Oh yeah, you went Wimbledon.
I like Wimbledon more than tennis, if you know what I mean. I like the ambience of Wimbledon.
Yeah. What was the Wimbledon experience like?
Really good, lovely. I've been once before, but Frank Smith had centre court tickets. He gave us them to watch Djokovic. Me and Matty Lawless were watching on court 1, but gave us that was brilliant to see. But I just like walking around the grounds and stuff as well, you know. It's nice. I like rugby, obviously. England put up a good fight against New Zealand. We're building a good team now. Steve Borthwick's coming good. He plays like a Southgate style, like a boring brand of rugby. A lot of set piece, a lot of kicking, territory rather than playing ball in hand. But if you look at the best teams that have ever played rugby, think back to England in 2003, it was set piece dominant. It wasn't about pretty rugby. It was about playing in the right areas. And I think a lot of players are coming good now. Marcus Smith had a brilliant tour. Got a good outfit. 12 and 13. Shout out Henry Slade. Good little team building there. Ellis Gen's a good friend of mine, injured at the minute, but building a good squad of experienced players and young ones coming through as well, you know. So it's exciting to watch. And going to the rugby at Twickenham, it's not much better. It's a brilliant atmosphere.
Yeah, so I'm not a rugby man, so I'm not too clued up on.
Neither's really my brother, but he went to watch some of the games. There was a Vinegar Yard. I don't know if you know it.
Yeah, Vinegar Yard.
Yeah.
My mate used to have a shop at Vinegar Yard.
Really?
Actually. Yeah,
It's
retro football
really,
shop. Yeah.
really good atmosphere there. And my brother got into rugby, and a few of my mates who don't really know rugby, they loved the experience there. And rugby's good because you can have South Africans next to English, and there won't be no trouble, you know, most of the time. You can't have Millwall next to Chelsea, can you?
No, you definitely can't.
Yeah.
Johnny, mate, it is such a pleasure.
Do you want me to drop you to the station, or are you coming to Chariots?
I do have to be somewhere, that's the
I
problem.
can drop you back at the station.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Mate, you're a star. I would love to come Chariots as well.
Oh, that's right.
You have to take me out for dinner.
That's it, mate.
What would you eat in there today?
I've got probably a bit of like grilled cod or salmon, something like that. With a bit of rice, teriyaki rice, with some broccoli, something like that.
Class. Johnny, mate,
Absolutely
you're a superstar.
class. Thank you, my friend.
You've always given me time,
Yeah, but you're
which I am.
You're
appreciate
an
more than
engaging
anything.
interviewer, and you ask non-boring questions. And I've told you this off camera, but your writing skills are my favourite. I think you're a good writer. So whoever's you're working for, is it Charlie or you're working with? You're working with Charlie, aren't you?
With Charlie, yeah.
Tell him to fucking
CP.
get a little column done, because your writing is engaging. It's enjoyable to read, and you cross-reference to other things that are away from boxing. You know, good job these have got big wheels. But yeah, exciting stuff, mate. Stomping Ground, large bash.